นำเสนอด้วยนะครับผมว่างานที่ทำมานี่มีอะไรบ้าง
กราบเรียนกรรมการสอบสารนิพนธ์ค่ะ
You can speak English.
Yes, okay. Okay, good afternoon, everyone. Okay, so I will present in English version because the study was done in English.
Okay.
Alright, so first start with introduce myself. Okay, so my background, I'm a chemical engineering majors from Chulalongkorn universities, and my work experience is over 20 years, majority in the automotive business. So I start with Michelin Siam, which is part of the Siam Cement Group, joint venture with Michelin. And I work with General Motors, Thailand. As you know, that TAP is the biggest car manufacturing globally. And also I work with other tier 1 supply chain like Autoliv, which is produce the seat belt, airbag, or the safety restraint component for the automotive business. And I also have chance to work in the upstream industry. This is a chemical that can utilize my background for the chemical engineering with automotive performance, or as a General Electric for the silicone area, and also with the Real Corporation for the tier 1 automotive business. And currently, I work with Valeo Manufacturing Thailand, which is also the global leader for the tier 1 automotive business globally. So I work as a purchasing director. Okay. All right. So similar to Mr. Paulino, that my background is mainly in the automotive business, which is due to the background of this study. That we focus on the automotive. Okay. So for this background, we're talking about high voltage battery supply based study in Southeast Asia using the data analytics. And the background is the pressure from environment, climate change, and volatile oil supply has brought to the new attention to alternative power vehicle. Okay. So as you see from the previous presentation, electrical vehicle use is expected to increase globally. Okay, whereas in Thailand is still very slow, very behind, but many growing since the year 2002 up to 2016 is increased a lot. Okay, so as a result of high voltage battery usage is expected to increase. Okay, because of the usage of the EV. High voltage battery is a relative new technology where in the design and manufacturing supply chain is still being developed. Okay. Considered as a disruptive technology in automotive business. Whereas Southeast Asia is an important manufacturing base which can export globally components related to the high voltage battery technologies. Okay, so let me explain in terms of the definition of the problems. So there is no established supply network for high voltage battery as of today. And we need to develop a database of capable supplier in Southeast Asia. And also, can we utilize the business analytics, or this tool is suitable to use as an edge to the current method to initiate and set up the high voltage battery supply chain. Okay, and lastly, how to use this technology in order to continually search and update information about the supply footprint and movement in the region. Alright, okay, this is the objective of this study. So the first one to study made the overview of the automotive supply chain in Southeast Asia. Okay, by create a data warehouse using the relevant data information, which is public in the web and also from the interview. Study and apply appropriate business analytic methods. And the last one is develop probable supply chain scenario for the supply of high voltage battery in Southeast Asia. Okay, so let's see the scope of this study. Okay, so link to the objective. And the scope to study is we will define a set of viable data source in order to develop appropriate data warehouse and data mass. Okay, and this study will pinpoint the applicable by use extract transformation load and database structure suitable to the subject. So we will focus and target the limit to the automotive parts suppliers, which is only involved in high voltage battery technology in Southeast Asia. And then we will utilize the visualization software, which will use to generate diagram and chart. Okay, so the benefit of this study will describe into two majorities area. The first one we're talking about academic benefits, which is the first one that the report on the study was done in terms of the electrical vehicle, in terms of the global scale and leading into the market. So this could benefit to the economy in terms of the next area for the research, okay, and some of the community related to this area for the EV in the future. And also its benefit in terms of the study of the EV in the different country, which is related to the all the component part maker, like different country, different company probably have some policy maker accordingly to the new trend of the EV globally. And in terms of the economic benefit, so the two main areas for the benefit will benefit to all the supply chain experts that could formulate a strategy for the supply base in Southeast Asia, and also the benefit to the purchasing manager, which is similar with my career, my work, that could pinpoint and use this study in order to strategy the supply base in the Southeast Asia, which could help in terms of to reduce some of the risk in terms of the decision making for the investment in the future. Okay, so let me give you a quick view in terms of the concept of high voltage battery. So this is one of the module from the Audi Q5 hybrid Quattro. This is platform is used high voltage battery. Okay, so I will not go to the detail, but in my study I mentioned as well that the meaning of high voltage battery is fully different with the conventional internal combustion engine. Okay, so we will not use the gas for the energies. So this purely for high voltage battery. Okay. Talk about the high voltage battery component itself. So the most common in terms of the car maker and technology is used, we call as a battery management system. So it's a normal that concept that if you see here, this is the color, the battery that use the lithium ion, which is the most common and the most market share that use in terms of the high density power battery. Okay, and if you see this, one of the cell which is compact into in the series that built in terms of the battery management in the car. Okay, so just to assembly in terms of the series. Okay. So type of battery cells, which is have the very different, this is categorized in terms of the energy density and also the energy density in different variety of the type of battery. If you see here, the lead acid, this is the current that we use in the conventional car, okay? And this is the different nickel cadmium and also nickel manganese. Okay, we're talking about lithium iron here, okay? This is the most common use in EV, okay? So in the different technology, in the different car maker, we will consider to utilize different type of the lithium iron. It depends on how they categorize their strategy, okay? So I will not go through the details, but this is, we're talking about the future high voltage battery we consider is the lithium iron as of today. All right, give you a clear view in terms of the Southeast Asia supply network for automotive part. So we talk about Southeast Asia, you know, as an ASEAN. We have roughly over 2,065 suppliers in our region, okay? And the vehicle that we produce per annum, per year is up to 4 million, okay? So all of these suppliers are mostly tier 1 or tier 2 and mainly supply to the Japanese OEM, okay? Which is some of the European OEM also purchase mostly electronic components, power management system, and high labor, for the high labor content part. Okay. Talking about Thailand, we have over 1,000 supplier base. And as you know, Thailand is majority car manufacturing in this region, Southeast Asia, up to 1.9 million. Okay, this is based on data based on year 2016. Okay, so the supply able to produce ECU, brake, engine part, axle, bodywork, suspension, HVAC. So it's quite variety in terms of their supply base capability and different technology. Okay. Whereas if you compare with Indonesia, up to 377 supply base and the 1.3 million car per annum. So the variety in the different of the supply capability is less complex compared to Thailand. Okay, move to Malaysia, 282, 0.5 million per annum, and the same that electrical and audio, video, switch, plastic, and trim, also some of the chassis suspension. Philippines is quite less because of the country have less car maker, manufacturer. So some of the minority which is produced at 0.1 million, and next is Vietnam. Okay. Study methodologies. For sure, we focus on the literature reviews to see where is the research application, which is public, which is could support the study. And next is create and build a data store and data transform process, visualization software, knowledge discovery process, and next is analysis and conclusion. Okay, start with the first data source. Okay, from this study, we gather the data source from a different source, like from Indonesia, that we request the data from the government agencies, and also from the interview for the expertise in the country related to the automotive business. Okay. The same with Singapore, that the Enterprise Development Board of Singapore that provides some of the data of the supply base related to the automotive industry. Malaysia automotive industry, Malaysia industry, and also the trade institute that also a part of the data source that we receive from the government agency and the association. And Thailand is quite well organized compared with other countries. Which is we have quite well information from Thai automotive industry, Thai Auto Part Maker Association, okay, and the Philippines is quite, I would say, is quite less in terms of the ready for the information sharing from the from this country, okay. As you see, maybe due to the automotive business is not growing compared to other countries. So we have some of the hard copy from the Board of Investment, and it's not up to date. Vietnam as well, we see a lot of investment booming, but also the information that we have is quite limited. Okay. And also another source that I would like to mention is from this source, we also have to search other relevant data from the public web or from internet. So from the source of data, so we create the database, which is I could give you a clear view on the data dictionary in terms of what the attribute that we describe from the data that we have, okay, which is in different attribute name here, like here is we talk about entry ID, and the data type is int, and this is primary key, which is description in terms of the entry number. We talk about this is the top 100 supplier globally, which is could describe further study to define how potential, how capable of this kind of supplier. Supply manufacturing name, website, manufacturing main product commodities, like this is chassis, suspension, or interior, exterior, etc. And then we're talking about sub-product commodities, deep dive to the detail in terms of the industry, like what kind of industry that they related majorities in terms of the steel, plastic, or electronic, okay. And another one is primary manufacturing process at the supplier, okay. And this is another attribute that we utilize for the analysis is primary raw material used by the supplier. We talk about in terms of the technical, so I will not go through the detail, but this is all the data dictionary that we describe from the data source in order to develop the data bank for the further study. So this is the framework concept of the data transformation process. Here is the data preparation and database development. Okay, so if you, as I explained from the previous slide, the sort of system which is gather the data from the different source that we have, and then the data will manually, I would say manually coded, convert, change the format into the according to the data dictionary as explained, which is we consider extract, transform, loading, or database packing here. Okay, and then we're talking about the business analytics, which is the process that will utilize the data in order to generate the dashboard or report here. So this is the framework concept that we utilize for this study. Okay, so I give some view in terms of the visual analytic process. Here is a big data as we explained. Okay, we have the source of data from the different public source, trade fair, government agencies, internet search, ETL to the database. And this is the visual data exploration that will mapping and transformation in terms of the visualization. And this is kind of the model or the process to develop the model selection or building the model in order to create the knowledge here. So this is the automate of the data analysis that we use for this study. Visualization. So visualization, following the slide that will demonstrate the different diagram or chart, which is the tool visualization and knowledge discovery process from this study. So I would consider that visualization is a technique that try to represent as much as possible the data item in the screen. Okay, and that will use as a dashboard in order to gain insight. Okay, to gain insight and for the knowledge and also for the efficiencies. So I give an example for this is the chart we call heat map for the Southeast Asia. Okay, so for this chart from the business analytic that generate the visual of the data point in different countries geographically located in Southeast Asia. So if you see here, Thailand have quite density in terms of the data point compared with others. I will go quickly for next. Radar chart. I think everyone familiar with this. So the data analysis easily to generate this radar chart. This chart is to compare the different variables. Like this, you're talking about. Apologize for this one. Engine, powertrain, body, exterior. So this is we consider the main product in the data dictionary. Okay, for Southeast Asia. And if you see here, this is to compare the different variables, and you can see the comparable, which one is outlier compared with this different criteria. Like this, if you see here, this is the maximum, which is could explain that or interpret that. We could say that majority of the supply base in Southeast Asia is involved in terms of the engine and suspension compared with others. And if you see in different countries, Indonesia, there are outliners in different variable criteria. Okay, so this is interpreted in a different views for the radar chart for different countries. Okay, we talk about the Excel chart. This is the dashboard that I apologize, it's small, but it's not the intention to explain in detail how it looks. But this is the dashboard that will explain the relationship for the different chart. You see here we have the radar chart, we have the donut chart, we have the Excel chart, and this is a combination. The same chart in the same screen, and this will help you to demonstrate or flash in a different situation, which can have a clear view or unify the display for the different data in the same source. Like this, you can see it's very clear that Indonesia, and this is the So like this, you can see the relation or the flash out of the data from this chart. This is a correlation in the different main product group and the sub product in a different country. And also in the same time, is demonstrate what is the primary raw material of this sub-product and main product. Like this, the steel is a majority of this. And if you move to another main product group here, so it will show in a different explanation. So this dashboard will describe quick in terms of the vision. This is displayed from the same screen in order to understand how Indonesia supply base suitable for this study. And we can formulate the strategy for next study. The similar study for the Malaysia as well, that we will see different sub main product group and sub product group represent a different result. So I will not go to the detail. Okay, so this is one of the chord, we call the diagram, chord diagram. And this is one of the complex business analytic generator dashboard that could explain in different view. So for this chart, is unable to manage by Excel or normal tool. Okay, so if you see here, this is the interrelation for the electrical electronic. This is the main product group. And this describes that this Philippines have able to do the sub product group in terms of the software development differently. And the majority of the capable of the different supply is assembly. Okay, so this is the different explanation. If you see here, this is the concept. We're talking about the country is Philippines. Main product is body and all the different except the indirect and others. And sub product group is will related to this for the Philippine country. And for this is Philippines and Vietnam as well. This is clearly see that in terms of variety for the electronic, mainly supply is capable in terms of the assembly process, and quite few supply able to do the software development and the plastic injection and other technology. Okay, so quick to the tree map. So tree map is the chart. This is will compare in the different criteria in one page. For this, you can see that this is a Southeast Asia, and you see that the different main product group of the supply base in Southeast Asia that will explain the beak of the rectangular or the leaf branch here, which is represented how is different main product group of the supply base in Southeast Asia. And this is also demonstrated in different countries. Okay. Conclusion and finding. So a comprehensive and centralized data bank of the automotive parts supply in Southeast Asia was developed by use the data that we have, extract and loading into the central database. Okay. And a data bank was developed from a few raw data. Additional data was collected and developed to make the proper input from the to the visualized software. Overview of the protocol for the supply network scenario for high voltage battery is beginning to emerge. I consider this a beginning because there is further study or further area for this research that we have to develop. Okay, that's all. Okay, so let me go to a quick one. Area for further study. So from the study, we would suggest or recommend that we have to continue develop a data bank by adding more resolution in depth of the data into the, for example, like the plastic production process can be made more specified by adding into whether it is the by injection or is a blow molding or is a vacuum or hot pressure process. So it's kind of like deep dive or drill down into the segmentation. And further research can be done to use the data to find what is available in the internet, whether the data is relevant. So this area could help in terms of to generate the data banks in the future. Okay, so that's all. Thank you very much.
Thank you for your presentations. Let's first.
ไม่ถ่ายก่อน
In your works, your title, you specific using business analytics.
Yes.
Please explain business analytics in your work.
Okay, so I would okay. Business analytics is the process. This is I would like to explain from this slide. Pen.
เปิดสไลด์ให้ดู
ไอ้ที่มีฉากที่มันมีฉากที่เราอีกนิดนึง Okay, so in terms of the business analytics this is the what I would like to explain from this process. So we're talking about big data. Okay, this is together the data source, collect all the data, and the intelligence is to collect. We consider as a 5V, we talk about theory, like this is talking about we're talking about 5V in terms of the volume, velocity, varieties, veracity, and values. Okay, and from this. And from this, the business analytics will generate the visualization by select the model. Okay, so by select the model. So from this study, we have the data source and the model that we have. We consider the different chart. That is the output from the business analytics, and that will gain the knowledge from the business analytics. So if I explain you, the business analytics is the process to generate and to shape, to select the model, visualization or model building to generate the knowledge. And this will output in terms of the dashboard report that we have.
I think that's we use using business analytics. Business analytics is much to the methodology process. I think that's you should change the business analytics to the methodology for this work.
So what you explain is the business analytics is the methodologies, which is correct. It's the methodologies for this study in order to analyze the data that we have, to conform, to shape, to formulate the model that we have and generate to the dashboard. So that will create the knowledge from this study. So it's methodologies, but I explained in terms of how the process will be input and output. Because the wording business analytics is the methodologies, but I explained is how the process that we've been done truly for this study in terms of I consider the business analytics is very widely wording in terms of how to describe the definition.
In business analytics, you can show the methodology in the business analytics, and you use the methodology name of the business analytics and replace in the title in your work.
It will be, for example, like could you advise like the wording should be using business analytic methodology or something. I'm not quite sure that I captured from your advice.
For example,
Mhm.
Dr. Thana asked you the business analytics used in this research.
Yes.
We cannot ask about methodology. The methodology of this research is one, you literature review in this paper and you summarize and you use business analytics for analyzing high-voltage battery supply base in Southeast Asia. You use the methodology of this research is 1, 2, 3 in chapter 3.
Yes.
And the business analytics is 2 to apply in case to demonstrate in report and diagram and graph.
อาจารย์พูดภาษาไทยนะคะ
อาจารย์เขาถามว่าตอนแรกไอ้ business analytics ของเปิ้ล
ค่ะ
เอามาใช้ทำอะไร
ค่ะ
ตอนนี้คือก็กำลังสับสน
อือฮึ
ว่าเหมือนกับว่าตอนนี้เปิ้ลไปอธิบายในเรื่องของ methodology เนี่ย
ค่ะ
methodology ในบทที่ 3 เนี่ยเปิ้ลบอกว่าไอ้ business analytics ของเปิ้ลคือ methodology ทั้งหมดมันไม่ใช่ methodology ในบทที่ 3 first เปิ้ลทำอะไรเปิ้ลไปเก็บแบบสอบถามเปิ้ลกลับไปบทที่ 3 ของเปิ้ลหลัก
ค่ะ
ถูกปะไอ้ตัว business analytics มันแค่ตัวหนึ่งที่มาวิเคราะห์งานถูกปะในสเต็ปที่
คือตอนอธิบายจะอธิบายว่า business analytics เนี่ยคือกระบวนการใช่ไหม
ใช่ค่ะ
ใช่ไหมนะฮะตอนนี้เวลาว่า using โดยเซนส์มัน using มันต้อง using method หรือไม่ก็ using by approach คือถ้าผมจะเปลี่ยนหมายว่าถ้าจะทำไอ้เรื่องตรงนี้ให้มันชัดอาจจะถ้าจะทำให้มันใหญ่เป็นกรอบใหญ่หน่อยก็อาจจะใช้เป็นตัว business analytics approach และข้างในก็จะฝังไอ้ตัวรายละเอียดออกไปก็ได้ว่ามันมีกี่ methodology แล้วก็เป็น specific ตัว methodology ของไอ้ตัว business analytics อยู่ข้างในนะฮะแต่มันจะแบบทิ้งเป็นคำกว้างๆแบบนี้ไม่ได้
คือมันกว้างคำว่า business analytics นี่มัน
คือมันไม่ใช่ methodology หรือ approach เนี่ยมันเป็นกระบวนการ
ค่ะ
ข้อเปลี่ยนของข้อไตเติ้ล
ค่ะ เป็น
using
approach
approach
using business analytic approach
ข้างในก็ต้องไป specific ในรายละเอียดของไอ้ตัว business analytic approach ตรงนี้ว่าเราใช้วิธียังไงอันนี้เข้าใจไหม
โอเคขอกลับไปที่ study กับอาจารย์
คือวิธีที่เราใช้มันต้องมีอะไรสักอย่างหนึ่งที่มันเป็นเทอมในการที่จะรับอ้างไอ้วิธีกระบวนการที่เราทำเนี่ยเรียกว่าอะไร
ใน study from literature review นะคะซึ่ง describe
หนึ่งนะเดี๋ยวเข้าใจทีเดียว
ค่ะ
คือผมไม่ได้บอกว่าผิด
ค่ะ
คือผมไม่ได้บอกว่าที่ทำนี่ผิด
ค่ะ
แต่การที่ไปทิ้งเป็นคำที่มันโรเตที่มันกว้างๆแบบเนี้ย
ค่ะ
นะฮะคือ using ปกติโดยเซนส์ของ using มันจะต้องตามด้วย methodology วิธีการทำไงนะคือเทคนิคมันคืออะไร หรือไม่ก็บอกเป็น approach กว้างๆออกมาว่าอ๋อไอ้นี่มันเป็น approach ในการทำ
คือต้อง
เช่นผมยกตัวอย่าง
ค่ะ
นะฮะถ้าผมบอกว่า by using machine learning สมมุตินะ
ค่ะ
นะฮะอันเนี้ยมันเป็น approach ละนะฮะมันอาจจะไม่ได้ใช้ machine learning ก็ได้
โอเค
นะฮะแต่มันอาจจะ replace ที่เป็น specific term ของ machine learning ว่าอ๋ออันนี้ใช้เป็น nice way อย่างเงี้ยอันนี้คือ methodology ที่มันอยู่ข้างใน
ค่ะ
อย่างเงี้ยอันเนี้ยอันนั้น
ถ้าอย่างนั้นอย่างที่เข้าใจเหมือนที่อาจารย์อธิบายว่าคิดว่าตัวเองน่าจะเข้าใจว่า business analytics นี่คืออาจารย์บอกมันกว้างไป ในเคสนี้ถ้าจะเปลี่ยนเป็น power BI เลยได้ไหมคะ ถ้าจะ specific
ไม่เป็นไรเราไปเขียนในบท
ค่ะ
บทที่3บทที่4เราว่าเราใช้ทัวร์
โอเค
เราแค่เพิ่มอีกคำเดียว
ว่า
คือ
approach
ในตัวบอดี้ที่เราทำที่เปลี่ยน
ค่ะ ก็คือจะต้องเป็น business analytic approach โอเคค่ะอาจารย์ขอบคุณค่ะ
คือเล่นตัวหัวเรื่องก่อน
ค่ะ
ของภาษาไทยตามก็ได้
ค่ะ
มีวิธีแก้นิดนึงนะครับ
ค่ะ
ลูกคนกลับไปดูหน้าผมนะครับผมกับ page 6
page 6
Yes. I think you can define clearly for business analysis under word dictionaries.
โอเค
Yes, actually makes other people understand clearly for your term of business analytics.
โอเค
This is a part to justify in case number 6.
Okay. Actually, it's explained in 2.8.
Really,
Yes.
um,
Because it's very broad meaning for the business analytics
yes,
from the literature review.
yes, of course, but even that you can define your term in your meaning.
Okay.
In page number 6, because this one you can define by yourself, and then you can support your research properly
Okay.
under your term and definition of your business analytics.
Okay.
Yes, this one. This one got the way out of your research because you have your own term condition and your own meaning. So other people cannot make arguments for this term because you have your own meaning.
I see.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Can you move to page number 21? For the first paragraph, this is
Chris DM.
Christian. Yes. This one, generic name or
It's a generic name. This is we consider is a methodology. Is a standard process.
Oh, yes. If you say that this is the generic name, that you have citation where this will get from.
Okay.
There should be stronger in your research. The first paragraph, the last line, you say the figure x. But that's what you need to change.
Okay.
Should be figure 3-2, right?
Yes. Correct.
Yes. It means you type just terrible. Okay, back to overall of your research. I appreciate for you as well. You can pull all data together and use business analysis, and then you can show in graphic mode. You can make it visual. In this way, if showing dashboard that uses that should be earned the knowledge for the leader. I think it's good. But the point I is confused is you mentioned high voltage battery. Do we have a manufacturer of high voltage battery in Thailand or neighborhood country? Because this one is quite new.
Yes. Okay. Let me explain a little bit back.
Right.
The high voltage battery is the we consider as a hazardous.
Yes.
So if there could be some extremely if the chemical reaction or short circuit inside.
Yes.
So that means this is considered spatial handling, and this is also draw the study intention to this area, because that means the supply need to be closely to the car manufacturing because of the hazards. So then to answer your question, any supplier or company in Southeast Asia that currently produce or capable to produce high voltage battery, I would say no today.
You would say no?
No, yes, none. Yeah.
Okay, if you say that it's no today, how you get the data and show to us in dashboard as you show in the presentation?
Okay, that the data is not specific for high voltage. Is the data that we would like to study, because we consider this is the technology disruption in the future. So the supply base currently that we have based on the conventional internal combustion engine will be changed to EV. All right. So that means based on the supply base that we have today, can we formulate or define or pinpoint that this supplier is capable to produce for the high voltage battery or not?
So the data that you show to have just only example.
Correct.
Okay.
Yes.
I think that's all on my comments.
Thank you very much.
So can I just ask you a lot of questions because I was confused earlier and you said
สวัสดีครับอาจารย์
But for me, I know that there is no EV manufacturer in Thailand and other countries nearby us.
Yes.
And then you chose for the high voltage battery supply chain.
Yes.
I will confirm how you get the data
Okay.
and show it us.
All right.
Because there is no manufacturer required
We're talking about in the
in
future.
the future.
Correct.
I think that's all on my comments. Anything else? Thank you very much for your
Thank you very
presentation.
much. ขอบคุณค่ะ